kind of, where were we? That's kind of what I was imagining for us to go down. And then obviously to go up, it needs to go up and then back test. Let's have a look. Kind of like that. See where we were? I don't know if you can see that. Let me expand it a little bit. Is that
Fail
better?
me.
Oh, I don't want to see. That's kind of where we were looking at. So I was kind of imagining a down, huh? You see that? I was kind of contemplating a further push down. And the problem with when the markets drop is that altcoins get annihilated. So Bitcoin is very much in control. I was looking at QANX, kind of going sideways. And then let's have a look at this. I was looking at some patterns. And then I kind of went on into TRVL. Let me have a look at TRVL. Well, I didn't really look at the charts much on TRVL. So I'll kind of have to have a look at, oh yeah, I was talking about a Fibonacci time pivot on the 15th of December. You see that? So, all right, so I kind of am refreshed on where I was. Let's go to the Bitcoin charts now. Let's get rid of that. Oh, there's a few viewers here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to look at Bitcoin, then I'm going to look at QANX, and then I'm going to look at TRVL and D-Travel at the end. So if you've just joined me, you haven't started yet, I'm about to start. And obviously you can catch up with this live stream. You can rewind it. And then I'm going to cut it into some streams for later. It's messy, huh? My charts are messy. Shit. I'm going to have to clean them up. I literally haven't looked at my charts. Can you believe that? Let me just get rid of this. Done. So this, let's get rid of these. Let's just get rid of all of it actually. Let's just delete, 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 delete. What's that one? Get rid of that now. I have to have a look at that long because obviously that didn't play out. And the reason why is because there was no swing failure of this pivot. So we can have a look at that. The levels. Wow, that weekly level held for a little bit and then we lost it. So I'm going to have to redraw those. I'm going to have to look at the volume levels. Oh, this is interesting. Look at that. Okay. Let me get rid of these. Single prints. Get rid of these. That's all old stuff now, so we can get rid of those. All of that is irrelevant, irrelevant. NPOX. All right, that's quite good. AW corrective. All right. So first things first, let's look at the volume. Whereabouts is this range? If you have any questions, just feel free to spam it in the chat. I'm kind of looking, I can see, and I'm happy to answer questions or just have a chat. I'm going to pull the volume now. Okay. The point of control has moved down a little bit. Got the value area high, value area low. Looks like we've lost the value area low here. Filled some gaps. There were some gaps here. We filled them. A couple of high volume nodes. Point of control. value area low, value area high. Excuse me. Interesting, huh? Interesting. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to pull out slightly higher time frame volume. That's interesting as well. Let's get rid of this. Let's draw some fibs. Oh wow, look at that. We're coming into the golden pocket and we're getting a reaction. It looks like a reaction off the golden pocket right now. Can you see that? That's quite interesting. Let me just change that to the golden pocket so you can see. And what I'm also going to do is just draw kind of a much higher time frame fib pull from that pivot low to the all-time high. 69k, huh? 69k. Really strong support. Wow. Interesting. What the hell did that go? Just trying to organize this. $69k. Let's hide that now. Right, let's just focus on the local volume for a second. Got the fibs, got the volume. Okay. We've lost that. Okay. Let's look at the levels now. So going to the monthly chart. That was a pretty bearish monthly candle. Swing failure of the all-time high. Close underneath the 50 fib. Took the liquidity. And then this month we're seeing a nice sell-off. At the moment it's decreasing volume, decreasing prices. So it's a pretty low, relatively low volume sell-off. So it looks like it's overselling at the moment. Let's have a look. The indicators, oh, nothing there. Where's my levels? Craftcalf, welcome. I don't know why it's printing twice on my social stream. It's so annoying. Hi Amir, how are you? Hi Amir, how are you? So if you say something once, I'm getting it twice. I'm pretty good, huh? I'm in Panama City, live in Panama City. Can you believe it? I'm returning to London tomorrow. I'm flying back to London. It's going to be my birthday soon, and probably I'll be there for Christmas as well. So I'm kind of excited to go back, see my family, and I don't know. It'd be a nice change. But it's been amazing here in Central South America. I've been traveling, experiencing and meeting new people. Met a lot of really cool people, interesting people, networking. Yeah, I'm really good. Just got back from the Amazon jungle. I'll show you some pictures if you hang around long enough. I'll share some pictures when I start doing TRVL right at the end of the stream. Let's see a pretty miserable sell-off, aren't we? We've got a monthly level. That's fine. There's a new monthly level up there. I'm gonna update that. Happy birthday. Not yet. Give me. I'm still not there yet. What is it? The 18th of Feb. Sorry, 18th of November. So just over just 3 weeks. Just over 3 weeks away from now. 3 weeks. Yes, I'm a Sagittarius. That means we love to travel. De-travel. Moscow is watching Panama City. Yes, it is. Welcome, mate. Riolo Loy. Happy birthday here. Nice to have you guys. Welcome. It's always good to see people, chat to people. So let me just continue with this. I don't want to waste too much time over chatting. I like to chat, but that's the monthly level. Wash, get rid of that. We've got our monthly levels. Let's look at the weekly levels. Weekly there. That's correct. These levels are correct. Let's have a look at the daily levels. Let's just update these. 1, 2, 3. That's correct. That's correct. That one's washed now. That's washed. So what's the next one? Washed. It's all the way down there. All right. Get rid of that. So that's our kind of liquidity levels now. Pretty brutal sell-off, huh? Look at that. Red. It's looking miserable, huh? Looking pretty ugly, huh? I think people are like, the bear market has started. It's possible. Everything's possible in the markets. Everything is possible. Let's have a look at this 3-month candle where we're at. Mega sell-off. Look at that. That's like a failed auction. Swing failure of the all-time high, and then sell. But we are coming to big kind of areas of liquidity. So this is kind of, we're coming to the areas where the price should find support. So that's interesting. Let's have a look at the 6-month. Massive rejection. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. And then the yearly candle, look at that. The yearly candle was looking really miserable, huh? Really miserable. Could it end in a doji, huh? Even if it's doji, it's pretty miserable. A red doji, green doji, could be pretty miserable this year. We have to see. We have to see how this candle forms on this yearly candle. All right. Let's have a look at the order flow on EXO charts. Oh, that's interesting, huh? We're getting really bullish divergences here on the order flow. You see how the CVD is going down and the price is actually going up? That's really bullish. You see that? See, the CVD it put in a new low here, and the price is actually put in a higher low. The price is above the VWAP. It's above the daily open. It's actually quite bullish right now with the price. We've got all these liquidation bubbles on the way down. Liquidation. Lots of liquidations. I haven't really looked at this for almost 3 weeks. Let me zoom out and go to the 4-hour time frame. If my EXO chart works. Yo, look at that. EXO chart is working. So on the medium time frame, there's no real divergence between the CVD and the price action. I mean, you can zoom out, you can go as far as you want, but the reality is I can't see anything interesting. Let's go and have a look at some other things. Let's have a look at the NPOX. There's a naked point of control there. 104. Now I'm going to write this into chat. Shit. Daily naked. These are the daily naked points of control. Their liquidity levels if the price comes back up to that level. 104,940. Anything higher? Oh, there's one higher. 107,480. Oh, there's a bunch there. Look at that. 112,980. $114,100. 114,100. Probably. Oh, shit. What did I do? Didn't mean to do that. All right. Let's go to the weekly time frame. We have a naked weekly point of control. Let's mark that in. Nine six 400. Monthly. Oh, there's missing data here. I don't know where it is. Look at that. Let me try and refresh that. Yeah, missing data on October. I have no idea where the point of control is here. There's a point of control up there, 111,669. 111,669. Let me put them in. Let me put those in. And clear it up. Okay. It's cleared now. These are cleared. Where are those? Where are those weeklies? Dailies. So the weekly was 96,400. And dailies were let me mark these dailies in. $104,940. $107,480. Hey, buddy. About everything with Marty. How's it going, mate? Nice to see you. It's always good to see new people, or old people in that matter. Martyr. Let me just mark these in. 112980. Last one, 114100. All right, so I've got all the levels. Let's just put it all back in. I haven't looked at the single prints, sir. Let me try and look at the single prints. I always struggle with the single prints because ExoChart is a lag fest. Let me try. There. SP. See that? Can I see it? Can I see it? Probably that's the biggest one there. There's some here. Way down. SP. See that single print? There's 2 blocks of single prints. I'm going to mark them down. Best believe. That's funny. All right. 97459 to 98598. And then here you can see single prints. 92803 to 93649. 646. 9364. Sorry. Stop. Sorry, my bad. 92265 to 93465. That's better. Be ready, player one. What do you mean by that? Greatness is coming. Yes, we are great. You're great. Shit, I wish I could get this double text off this stupid thing. Let me just try and reset it. Hold on. It's a bit annoying. I reset it. Let me see if that works. All right, let me put the single prints back in. Am I on the right page? Single prints. Nine 2265. We're above it now. We're in the single prints. To 93465. So we're in those. There's some higher up. 97459. To 98598. All right, I have everything I need to just do a pretty straightforward analysis of the charts. It's always important to update your data, volume, fibs, liquidity levels, and naked points of control, and zero volume areas, single prints. Once you do that, you can chuck it all back in. So look at the volume, liquidity levels, single prints, put them back in. naked points of control. Got the fib. Let's put all the levels in, actually. Full fib. Okay, so that is our liquidity. I'll go to zoom out to the 3-day chart. That's our liquidity levels. And right now we're just bouncing off, very simply, the golden pocket, which is an area from the 618 just below to the 66. It's like an area where traders find the best risk to reward, but that's it. There's nothing really there. The stronger level is much lower down here. You see that? You see where you've got all these levels? You've got naked daily point of control, naked weekly point of control, naked monthly point of control, naked daily point of control. You've got a 786 fib, then you've got a monthly level. You've got a big area of liquidity here. See that? You've got a big area of liquidity here. And then on the way up, you've got a lot of liquidity, but it's kind of spread out with the biggest one right at the top. Biggest one is right at the top, and then the rest is just kind of all spread out. So what does that mean? It means we're in for a choppy ride. That's probably what it means. Sometimes when you get like areas of low liquidity where it's all black, when the price moves, it can move quite fast. And so naturally you can see where there's black, the price just moves, it slips because there's lower liquidity. When the market moves, it moves in the same direction usually. And then when there's low liquidity, the price moves very fast. And so right now we've dropped quite fast. Drop and then drop. So we had the first initial drop. Then we had a kind of a little bearish consolidation and another drop and then another drop. We're kind of dropping. But now we're coming into the golden pocket. We're at this value area low area. You see that? The value area low. And that's actually good because this is, if we're going to find support, this is a good place to find support. But the price has been coming down so fast, you kind of have to let the price settle, find support, consolidate before it has an attempt to go up. The structure, the market structure on, I'm just looking at the market structure. It looks like it's bearish market structure at the moment. Lower highs, you can see it. The structure is bearish. We're putting in lower highs. We're putting in lower lows. See that? And that has to change. The market's not going to go up until this changes. You need a market structure change from bearish to bullish. And right now it's bearish. It's very obviously bearish. I mean, if you zoom out, you could argue that on the monthly time frame it's bullish because we've put in a higher low and, you know, higher high. Higher low, higher high. Maybe this is a lower low, lower high. There could be a change to bearish, actually. It looks like it wants to try and change. On this drop, I can see that there's decreasing. Look at these red candles. It's decreasing, isn't it? Decreasing volume, decreasing prices. That's not as bearish as it could be. Yeah, if the volume was increasing and the price was decreasing, then it'd be really bearish. But right now we're getting a kind of a low volume or decreasing volume fall in price, so it's not as bearish as you think. RSI is all the way down to the lows. The last time we were at the lows, it was a good place to buy, huh? These are the good places to buy when the RSI is really low. The MACD, let's have a look at it. I mean, on the higher time frame, let me just kind of hide these now and get those out the way. on a higher time frame, the MACD's for me is looking like bullish divergence. You can see we have the MACD's going lower than the previous low here. See, it's gone lower, and the price hasn't gone lower, so that's indicating absorption on a higher time frame, so weekly time frame. And the CCI is in crazy oversold. Look at that, minus 255. What was the last time we were at minus 255 on the CCI in the weekly time frame? Really never. Not on these charts. So we're in the most oversold CCI on Bybit's perpetual contract history. The last time we were down that low here, that was around 25,000. That was as the bear market was ending. Last time in the bull market we were that low. Look, we were here. Look where the price was. And here, look where the price was. So what you have to imagine is that, look, every time the CCI is low, the price is really bottoming. You get, does that make sense? It's a clear pattern, yeah, where the CCI goes down and the price is actually bottoming. Now, it doesn't mean it can't continue going down, but usually when that happens, you get a lower high at the very least. You see that? Or a rally. And so I do think we're probably in for a rally. See that? Look how low that was. And here, this was an anomaly. That was the COVID crash. And look how oversold. We're really oversold. BTC is oversold. So I kind of feel like there is a bear trap in formation. I think a lot of people think the bear market started. Maybe it has. We've lost the key trend line. It's obvious. Something like that. Something like that. See that? Now, this is the question. What happens next? Well, I think selling is a bad idea. And when I was looking at the fear greed index, excuse me, 15, 15 is good. 15 is extreme fear. 15 is actually, it's so low. That's like the best time to buy when when we're in extreme fear. Really good time to buy extreme fear. Yeah. Good place, good time. That's kind of where you want to start accumulating fear. You accumulate fear, you sell greed. That's kind of how it works. So if you're afraid, or if the markets are afraid, it's probably a good time to buy. Let's have a look at this one. This one's on 11. Extreme fear. Look at that. So look at this chart. February, 27th February, we went down to 10. 10th of April, we went down to 39. So 10. Let's have a look at 27th of February. February and April. Look, see this? We got to the lowest extreme fear here, February. Here, that was extreme fear 10. And then we went down in April, it went down to 38. You see that? Those were the lows. And then we might be here in that kind of situation. There was a pump rallier to put in a lower high. It went back down to take the lows, lower high, lower low, and then pump, 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 pump. So I kind of wonder if we are somewhat repeating something like this with the drop already happening. And everyone thinks it's all over and this crypto's dead and whatever. It's not dead, huh? It's like all eyes are on crypto, all eyes are on Bitcoin, all eyes are on altcoins, the big ones especially. And when I was looking at the dominance chart, get rid of that. We've lost it, huh? We've lost this trend. The BTC dominance trend is lost. Maybe maybe we consolidate here for another drop in the future, like that. That's a likely scenario, just because of the way this is playing out. So for safety's sake, what's a safe time or place to enter the market for longing? You've got these outer trend lines. Initially that one, and then possibly a steeper one there. And the reality is that for the price to go up, it has to break these trend lines to the upside. And so most people are like thinking, when's a good time to enter? Shall I enter? Is this the bottom? Shall I enter now? You could always dollar cost average. Not financial advice, but you could always take entries and dollar cost average, or you can wait for a setup. The best setups are swing failures and signs of strength. And so right now we're not seeing a swing failure or any kind of real strength just yet. And so that's kind of the best place to wait. But we are in extreme fear, so it is kind of coming to the right place for a potential rally. But for a long-term swing kind of setup, you want these outer trend lines to break. Whatever happens, we need them to break. Initially this one, however it breaks. But really it's the outer one, this outer trend line. It needs to break, needs to test, and then it needs to resume to go up. That's what needs to happen. And actually you end up entering higher, but you're entering in safety with the strength of the market, with a turn of the market, a change of the market. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the absolute bottom of this kind of structure. You can just wait and be patient and just wait for that kind of situation where you get a break, you get a back test, some kind of horizontal or whatever back test, and then a resumption of the trend. And when the trend starts resuming, then the whole market piles in and then the price starts to go up. So it's kind of what you're waiting for, and I would argue that that's probably the safest place to wait. And then in terms of strength, like when you go back to the volume, we really need to reclaim this point of control. It's really important. You see the point of control is here. It's at the low of the range. We're at the value area low, so potentially a good place. But you know, it is possible to go up, reject, and continue. It's possible, okay? And so ideally what we want is we want to kind of flip the point of control into support. Once that happens, that gives you safe entries. You can get safe entries because you have a definite invalidation, i.e. the point of control, which is flipped from a potential resistance level to a tested support level, okay? And so these are kind of signs that we're looking for, signs of strength. And so let me just kind of, with that in mind, let me just put my high time frame levels in place. They're quite far away. Right now we're kind of trying to fill these single prints. We filled the first lot, potentially. The first single prints here. Maybe the next one up there. Maybe we do get a liquidity grab for another low. It looks like the price could just kind of range here a little bit. For a break to the high. That's kind of what you want to see. And then how long is that going to take? No one knows. That would be kind of bullish to start changing the structure here. But the thing is, we've lost some key levels, and so we have to wait for those levels to return to support. So we don't really have that right now. What we're experiencing now are lower lows and lower highs. And what we want to see is a structural change. Lower lows. This could be the first higher high on a medium time frame, lower to medium time frame. You see that? We're kind of trying to fill the single prints. We're trying to find support back off the value area. So there's some trading going on here. Scalping probably. The local market, all the flow is bullish, so it looks like it's a bullish kind of, maybe a bullish weekend, just because we've gone down so low. Weekend, when I say weekend, it's only Tuesday. Week, dare I say it, weekend. And then what happens next? Oof. It's always hard predicting the future, isn't it? I think whatever happens, we're probably looking for a back test wherever the pivot is. Yeah, we're looking for some kind of lower high. Let's just say that's the pivot there. I don't know where it's going to be. We are looking for a higher time frame. Lower high if this is a bear market. And so in the bear market, you get lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And so right now we're in the lows. It's like the worst time to sell. This is where shorts get trapped. And looking at the monthly time frame, look how much we've moved already. Look, the monthly candle has moved so much that you would never sell here. It's just too much, hasn't it? You're like catching the end of the move to the downside. You would never sell. And whatever happens, I think we're probably going to be ranging here for a little bit. Probably next month would be a next month ranging. Maybe the yearly candle ends, then we get a pullback to go up, then down. Maybe we get another kind of crazy year. That's going to destroy our altcoins. That's the reality of it. The reality is that when Bitcoin is rejecting from highs, when Bitcoin is volatile, altcoins get annihilated. So a lot of people are in altcoins, they're thinking, let me just sell and get out of the market. It might be wise to do that, but then you don't want to sell at loss. And actually, it's probably better to accumulate with the pullbacks. Probably better to accumulate with this opportunity to buy into like your favorite tokens for cheaper prices and be patient for the future, for higher prices in the future. It's like we're at fear 11 or whatever it was, 13, 14. It's not a good idea to sell that. It's better to buy the fear. That's kind of where my mind is at. We're coming into a monthly order block here. That's your monthly order block. This is where institutional investors will actually look to pick up Bitcoin once the price comes into the order block. The order block is technically the whole of this red candle. So we're actually into it now. Huh? We're into the monthly time frame order block. This is where bigger investors start to ladder in to this candle, to this red candle here. Yeah, so we're coming into the buy zone, not into the sell zone, the buy zone. So the market's already sold off. We're coming into the buy zone. And what you want to see now is you just want to see the price to find support. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the price to find support. We have a potential value area low. That's it. You kind of want to see a new level, like a new liquidity, like a new daily level form here. Maybe if today's candle is green, we'll form a new daily level here. Then you want to see a back test. But realistically, what we want is a reclaim. Probably the nearest daily level. It's been washed already because the price dropped. That level was, the liquidity at that level was hit. That's it there. Just mark it out. It's been washed of its liquidity, but realistically speaking, we want to see this area flip into support. Otherwise, the price is going to be choppy. Flip that area into support, whatever. Then you get good setups for longing. So you're kind of looking for like 96, basically that point of control, to flip into support. That's really what you want to see next. Really break these trend lines, and then have a really sharp move up and see what happens next. Could we get a V-shaped recovery, or are we just going to end up with another rejection? So high low, but lower high, and then down we go again. So we're kind of in that phase of the market. We're in that phase of the market where right now we're coming to an area where the price could find support just because of the golden pocket. There's no clear setups here, huh? Nothing obvious. You've got that previous pivot low here. Reclaim that. Then that would be a really important sign of strength. It's higher up, huh? Could we go down for another test? Possible. So wherever, like if you're looking to long this, you're basically, what you're looking for is you're looking for some kind of ABC, which is what we're getting now, like an ABC. Then you're looking for a local retrace, wherever this pivot goes. Don't know how high this is going to go. Looking for a local retrace back to the golden pocket. However that happens. Clean these lows. And then another pump to the upside type thing. That's kind of what you're looking for. A pivot to be put in here, or higher. Back trace to the golden pocket. Clean up these lows, and then that would be the kind of entry that you're looking for, if possible. And the reaction of the golden pocket, and then all the way up to something like that. Otherwise, in reverse. And these like shorts right now are like a little bit scalpish. It'll be the golden pocket again. It'll be like a rejection. Waiting for a reaction, rejection, and just taking it down to the type thing. It's kind of what you're looking at in the short term, and in the higher time frame, in the long term. Let me just. On a higher time frame, what you're looking for, like I said, you're looking for these trend lines to break. Probably looking for this month to end, to be honest with you. So probably on a higher time frame, you're looking for the month end. And then it'll be a lot easier because longing here, it's like, where's your stop? Where's your invalidation? Month ends, then you have a previous month lows. You know, you have areas of interest where you could put invalidations. And possibly because it's a large red candle, you could get. That was the last large monthly red candle we had. And look what happened the next month. It was like a sweep of the lows, a sweep of the 50 fib, a doji. You know, like that's kind of what we're looking for. And so possibly we do see a December just like that candle there next month after this November candle forms. It's probably best to wait for the end of the month. Probably anyone who's looking to know when a good time is, probably the beginning of the month. See what happens if you get another sweep of the lows here like this. And then the next month could be a January. It could be another formation like this, to be honest with you. 1, 2, like a red doji off. That's December, and then a green. Or you could quite simply see a crazy bear trap where the price just gets brought back up and you get like some kind of crazy engulfing. It's always possible. And a large portion of what happens next has got to do with the macro, the fundamentals, America, Trump, interest rates, and shit like that. I don't know why the price is falling. I have no reason apart from the technicals, which was a massive swing failure with big volume of the all-time high with a bearish candle, like a reversal there. That's really technically what was happening, which is kind of why 3 weeks ago, when you look at my stream, I was thinking down, wasn't I? I was thinking down. I had that short set up. Remember that? See that? I was thinking down, down, down. I was thinking you could only go up if we had a sign of strength, which was a reclaim of that high volume node, which never happened. I was actually thinking down. When I kind of analyzed 3 weeks ago, the price is at 110. Kind of what you're targeting. That's kind of Bitcoin. We need a place. This is not a sign of strength just yet. The sign of strength would be divergence on the pullback, reflipping levels, lost levels into support. Okay, so at the moment, because we've pushed down so much, the levels haven't formed yet. This is kind of what you need to do, is wait for the range to form. And right now, we're not range bound in a sense that it's a massive range, but the price has been dare I say rally, it's been selling off to the downside, hasn't it? That is having a massive impact on other tokens. So let's just have a look at ETH BTC. ETH BTC hit the point of control. That's the buy of the lifetime there, this golden pocket. I don't see ETH BTC crazy selling off, to be honest with you. It's just like a real gentle correction, ETH BTC. Very different to before. You had your kind of a 5-wave rally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is kind of a corrective move. Maybe not as bad as people think. I showed you on ETH that this was a bearish harmonic. See that? And it's playing out. It's playing out, but it's not really selling off, is it? It's just correcting. Let's have a look at the SPX. Yeah. And it's partly to do with the SPX. You see it put another all-time high, lower high, and then it's been sold off. And so there's obviously a clear correlation between the SPX and the rest of risk on assets. The Russell 2000. There you go. You see that? It put in a higher high, all-time high, immediate rejection. There was no breakout. But that... and the Russell 2000 is a V. That's a V. With a failed auction of the highs. If it's the proper V-shaped recovery, then you're looking for the Russell 2000 to find support off the 50 fib. But we've got this point of control in the way, huh? You see that? So we're above the value area. Just above the value area high. And got the point of... Russell 2000 could easily find support there. Now you lose that point of control, yeah, you're probably heading down. All right, so that's kind of BTC. I kind of need to look at it a bit more. I'll probably stream again for the charts on Friday. I'll be back in London